Welcome to another episode. Truckers and Others, here you are with Kevin Ray. We're trucking, buddies. We're trucking. We just got loaded up. We're headed out to Hannibal, Missouri. On the other side of the state, we're going to take Highway 36. We're not going I-70. I-70 might be nice, though, but I'm going 36. It's the way I've always gone. I like it. I like it a lot. I don't know. There's road work though, and I don't like that. But yeah, of course, I'm running the double rail. Always running the double rail where double rails shouldn't be used. Um, yeah, there's two dumpsters at this place that that they need hauled every so often. It's just a bunch of random hazardous waste stuff. My placard is 3175. I really don't even know what the fuck that is or what's in there, but I've got paperwork that tells me what it is, but I ain't looking at it right now. Anyways, it's just like drums and barrels and other knick-knack, paddywhack. Give a dog a bones! And got here. I called the guy beforehand because he always takes forever. He knows we're coming, but he waits until I say I'm on my way to write up the paperwork. So I've started to tell him I'm on my way about an hour beforehand, and he's still fucking late. Not late. I mean, he was there in time. It took me forever to get this fucking box loaded up because of where they had it. There's two boxes. One of them is easy-ish to get with the double rail. It's in a containment, so it's kind of a weird situation because it's like a speed bump around an area to keep any liquids from escaping. And it's kind of weird to pull. Like, you gotta be in a really good spot to grab that. And there's somebody backing up on the highway. What the hell? What the hell? You backing up on the highway? Don't back up on the highway, Terry. Don't do it. Oh, and I'm turning here. Um, yeah, and of course he texts me. He's like, "Oh, it's the easy one," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then later on, he's like, "Oh, so sorry. It's actually not the easy one. It's the harder one." I'm like, "Wonderful. Well, no skin off of my back, whatever the fuck that means. Um, you gotta get that. I don't have the power to move that dumpster where I need it to be. You all got a bunch of hostlers. It's a roll-off container, so hostlers aren't really able to do shit anyways. I mean, they have pretty good maneuvering vehicles, and I'm sure they got some sort of a chain or something they could hook up to it and move it. But they also have forklifts. It's like, yeah, all you got to do is move the box out to where I can get to it, and boom, we're good to go. But usually I'm waiting for my paperwork for a long time. So it's like, yeah, if you got to move, I usually get my shit hooked up and loaded up and everything before I get the paperwork, which it really isn't the way to do things. You should never attach and attach yourself to a hazardous load unless you have all proper documentation up front. At least that's the way I kind of look at it. But I said, fuck it. While you're getting the paperwork ready, I'm going to go get this trailer hooked up. And I pulled into the area, and it's usually packed full of drums, like empty drums, full drums, boxes, pallets, all kinds of fucking shit everywhere. And you can barely get a forklift through that fucking area. Well, they cleaned it up. It's actually cleaned up a little bit. It looks nice over there. So I was like, oh, this should be no problem. And I pull in, there's a guy from the trash company and a forklift guy sitting there. And I'm like, hey, what's up, guys? You guys cleaned up your area. I need to grab that box. He's like, well, then fucking grab it. I'm like, I plan on it. I was just coming in to scope out the fucking area, you dipshit. Leave me the fuck alone, dude. He's like, yeah, you just sweep in here and grab it. I'm like, okay. And I pull in there, and his forklift's just parked right in the middle of the fucking road. And I'm like, all right, I'm pulling in here to grab it. Where are you at? Move your fucking piece of shit forklift. And he moves it, but there's still, like, he set a pallet down right next to this dumpster that was in my swing zone. And I'm like, hey, can you move that? He's like, oh. And he moved it. And then I pull in there, and I'm working on, because I didn't have a lot of swing room still after that, but I had enough that I could get, like, kind of in the vicinity of where I need to be. But I was going to have to, do a lot of snake up, snake back, snake up, snake back, just to try to get the fucking ass into the trailer in position with the dumpster. And I had no problem doing that. It was going to get done. It was just going to take a little long. And the guy was a little impatient. He's like, hey, I'll just pick up your trailer. I'm like, okay, that'll work. That'll make things go faster. But I know this fucking guy is looking at me like I'm a fucking inexperienced driver. He's probably like, these fucking hostlers can fucking snake anything in anywhere. Like, well, okay, well, I'm hauling a double rail, and I'm driving a full-length semi. So I'm not a fucking hostler. And I mean, you can talk shit on hostlers all you want, but they are good at backing up fucking trailers. They don't show it all the time, but they are. Like, if there was like some sort of a prize on the line, all those trailers would be properly spaced, perfectly straight, perfectly in a row. Like, everything would be great. They are really good at their job. They just don't give a fuck, so they don't do a good job half the time. But hostlers, yeah, a hostler's going to beat me in a backing up a trailer competition, for sure. Maybe not like a new hostler. Or maybe one that learned from a guy on a day he wasn't giving a shit. Might be able to beat one of those guys. I don't know. I feel like I'd be pretty good in there. Give me a weird situation that is possible, and I bet you I can get it done. And I don't need a fucking forklift to move the ass into my trailer around. But it helps. If you got it, use it. That's what I kind of think about it. So anyways, he got me picked up. I got into position. The guy, he put these fucking yellow hazardous waste stickers all over the fucking box, and I ripped them all off. All I need is a placard. I don't need any other information. The only information needed is a placard on your box. The individual drums and stuff on the inside need to have labels. The big container on the outside does not need it, unless it's all one product. If it's all one product, it's not all one product. And so I ripped all those labels off, and he shows up. He's like, hey, what happened to my stickers? I was like, I ripped them off. He's like, oh, well, luckily I brought more. And he fucking slapped them on there. I'm like, God damn it, this motherfucker. So, I don't know. I'm thinking, right now I just don't give a fuck, so I'm going to leave it alone. But I'm sure if I called my boss, he'd say, yeah, rip all that shit. The only thing you need is a fucking placard. That's all you need on there. Don't draw any other information to yourself. Placard. If they want to know what's in the container, they're like police or even this company that I'm taking this shit to, they're not going to be looking at the fucking yellow. They shouldn't be looking at the yellow sticker. It could be misleading. As in, there's only one type of hazardous waste in it. What they need to do is get a hold of the manifest that I have with me in the cab. There's a Cybertruck. After Whistling Diesel's video on the Cybertruck, man, did that look bad. It did not look good for Cybertruck. The whole fucking ass end of the frame just broke off. And it was from like a couple of hits, but it's like hardened aluminum, I think, or something. I don't even know. It's some sort of space material. But apparently, if it gets dropped twice and then pulled on, it's just going to snap the fuck off. And I don't really see steel doing that. Steel's going to bend a little bit. It might stretch a little bit. It can do some other things. But just completely fall off is not what I think it should do. And those Cybertrucks are supposed to have an 11,000-pound towing capacity, which is pretty fucking good. And that's just like what they say you can haul. You know, you could usually haul way more. Not good, and if you fuck it up, you know, your warranty's done for, and they're like, yeah, well, you exceeded the weight limit, you dumbass. Should have stayed in the safe zone, under 11,000. But I don't know how much the Cybertruck weighs, but whenever it came off of one of those pillars, that was only half of the truck. The whole front of the truck was on the ground, so half of the weight of the truck, technically speaking, was already planted. So only half of the Cybertruck's weight being dropped, I don't know, 8 inches, put it, fractured the frame so bad that whenever they were going to go tow, and oh yeah, they used a stretch rope to pull the Cybertruck out of a ditch or whatever, and then they used a chain to pull the F-150 out of a ditch or whatever it was. I don't know. So yeah, there was 2 different methods. They used a nice stretchy chain that distributes the weight more evenly and smoother. But still, like a chain, like I've seen fucking some big old pieces of shit trucks with a chain yanking on something, and yeah, they're fucking it up, but they're not ripping the entire rear frame of their truck off most of the time. I'm sure it's happened, so I don't want to. But it's also YouTube, you never know. I don't think Whistling Diesel has any reason to do clickbait or to set things up to make people look bad, Tesla. So I trust that was all done in fairness and not malicious. Look at me using big words. Anyways, back to my fucking deal. I got the box, I got it out. The guy left another fucking pallet right in my swing zone to leave, because my swing zone to leave was different than my swing zone to enter this fucking area. But they did have it cleaned up a lot better, so I would have been able to get it. Just give me a little bit of time. It takes a little bit of time and maneuvering to get that fucking trailer to be where it needs to be, the ass end of it. But got it loaded up, went ahead and set my route, because even though the bridge is out, the bridge has been out for months. Well, maybe since the beginning of this year. There's a bridge in Hannibal that is gone. It's gone. There's no bridge no more. There is a small little, car bridge that I'm too heavy to go over. And I'm not saying that I went over it once. But if I had gone over it once, I got yelled at for going over it by the employees at the company where I'm going. But they want me to take like a 30-minute fucking detour through the fucking hills and shit around blind corners on 2-lane blacktop that's not wide enough for fucking 2 trucks to pass. I mean, it is, because I've passed every truck that I've passed on there. But it's still like, I don't like going around a blind corner and having a fucking truck passing me. I'd rather go the original way. But that bridge is going to be gone for a long time. I think there was some sort of structural issue with it, because there was no warning. It was just there, and then it was gone. So I'm sure they had like a quick demolition on it or something. I'm not sure. So yeah, got my route set. I'm headed out there right now. It says I'll be there at 11:42. I can guarantee you it's going to be later than that, because I'm going to stop. I'm already hungry. I had a big steak for dinner. Big motherfucking steak. My wife had another steak. I cooked hers on the stovetop. My grill is fucked up. I don't know. I need to go out there and fucking just clean it up and get a new pan for it and shit, and clean the grease out of it and do a nice deep clean on my grill so it doesn't catch on fire again. But I just don't feel like doing that lately. So I use the Gordon Ramsay method of cooking a steak on your stovetop. And it's not bad at all. It's a really delicious fucking steak. When you baste it, I think he said, I don't quote me, you're going to have to watch the video for yourself, but, you know, whenever you got your pan, you get it really fucking hot, you throw the steak on there, you let it sit for like a minute, then you flip it, and then you baste it, and then you flip it like every minute until it's to the doneness that you want it to be. And it worked out really well. And that was my wife's steak that she pounded down, made it a little wider, thinner. Not sure why she does that. It was not as tender as mine. Mine, all I did was throw a bunch of salt on it, then pepper, and then smoked paprika. That's the only other thing I put on there. Salt, pepper, smoked paprika, because smoked paprika is fucking delicious. And, like, coated mine in all that shit. And mine, I went into the air fryer. Air fryer at 400 for 8 minutes, 7 minutes, I think, on one side, and then flip it over another 7 minutes on the other side. And then by the time mine was done, hers was done. So I took mine out and I put it on the searing hot pan and seared it. Even though it looked good coming out of the air fryer, I seared the fuck out of it on both sides and basted it with the butter and the juices that were left in the pan. So I got a little bit of her seasonings on there, which I don't even know what she put on there, like garlic powder or whatever the fuck, I don't know. But it was fucking tender, dude. It was so tender. The air fryer method is pretty fucking good. I think I should do 6 minutes on each side because it was a little bit pink on the inside, not really, but it was like cooked, like baked, basically is what it was kind of like. It was like putting a steak in the oven. It's like, I don't know, but it still had a nice color on the outside of it. But yeah, it was good. It was a great steak. Loved it. I had thought about giving my dog the steak, but I wanted to do something real quick for him. Yeah, I guess we can get into that. So I had my dog put down yesterday. Yeah, it really sucked. It was horrible. No, I mean, he was happy and in good spirits the entire time until it was the time. But he was like going out. So, but it was horrible for me and my wife and my kids. My kids didn't go. I asked my son if he wanted to go. I thought it would be a good idea if he went. But he elected to not go, which is fine. If you don't want to be there, I'm not going to force you to be there. But if you would like to be there, you are more than welcome, son. My daughter is just looking at butterflies running around in the backyard. She doesn't know fucking anything right now. So I got home from work, went in, gave my doggy a bunch of pets, and then immediately pulled out some ground beef and fried it up into some cheeseburgers with the air fryer. I fed him so much of those. It was 1 pound, and I still got my fill, and I gave him his fill. He was very happy with it. He was like, what the hell's going on today? This is awesome. Cheeseburgers? This is fucking sweet. You're giving me a whole cheeseburger? Yep, here you go, buddy. When I say cheeseburger, I mean burger with cheese. There's nothing else on it. I mean, a little bit of seasoning and stuff, but nothing. I didn't put anything else on it. And the kids were napping for a while, and then eventually we got everybody loaded up. He was happy as could be to go for another car ride. We took him over to my mom's house, let him run around in the backyard, and I forgot that my mom's back fence is down or removed. So he's running in the neighbor's yard, and turns out one of the other neighbors, like in an L pattern, their fence was down too. So this freaking dog about got away. Like, not that he was gonna go away, but normally he's fine. You just let him out, let him explore, and eventually, once he's done exploring, he'll come right back. But we kind of had a time limit, which really sucked because I had it scheduled for 5 o'clock, and we got to their house at 4:30. We stopped to get McDonald's beforehand. The kids loved feeding him chicken nuggets and another cheeseburger. Rusty does not like pickles, so we had to remove the pickles from the burger. But he had a fun time running around, and then he was just as happy to get back in the car, even though I feel horrible that this is the last car ride you're ever going to take, and we're driving down the road, and we're getting close to the place, and we're at the last traffic light, and it seemed like that red light took forever to turn green. And I'm just looking at him in the rearview mirror, just looking at him, and he's just having a great old day. We get to the place, and we're walking around, and he does not want to go inside. This isn't just a kill clinic. Like, they do just other veterinary services. It just happens to be this is where I had my other dog put down, so I wanted to do it at the same place. So we go there, and yeah, he does not want to go inside. I don't know what he smells. Usually, I would think that he would want to go inside. Same with Chevy. Chevy was the same way. Neither one of them wanted to go inside, so I had to kind of pull them inside, not by their collar. I'm not that guy. I just grab them by their chest and walk them in. And once they're in, they were fine and happy, and we went back to the room and hung out for a while. They took him, put the IVs in him, and took his weight, and then brought him back, and then got the syringes ready to go. And we went back in the room, and he's just hanging out, having a good time. We had a bowl of water. There were treats, but they weren't delicious treats, I'm guessing. But they had treats and chocolates for the doggies. I might be able to hear some people in the back screaming at me right now. Dogs can't have chocolate. Well, they can on today. They can today. This is the only time they can willingly have chocolate. But he did not want any of it. He didn't want any of it. He was kind of just sniffing around, busy with stuff, checking the place out, making sure it's safe before anything. And then they took him back. They brought him back, and then they injected him. And they did it a little slower this time. I asked for it. I was like, can you do it a little slower? Like, get him calm. And then once he's calm, we can lay him, position him, and then get him going. And I petted his head until his nose stopped twitching. The doctors were in there. They said he's at peace. They left, but he was still having some movement, even though it's involuntary, most likely. But I stayed with him because it looked like he was sniffing, and his eyes were still open, and I was just laying with him, telling him make sure he knows he's a good boy. And once he was done, I got him covered up, and that place is a great place. They have a specific room for this. I mean, I'm sure they use it for other stuff too, but there's a back door, like an escape room door out back, so you don't have to go back through the lobby. And while they were getting the injection shots and everything ready, they brought the payment back, so we could just leave afterwards, which I probably could have walked through the lobby. I cried definitely during the process. Did a little bit of ugly crying, but by the end of it, I knew he was at peace. He was gone. He was not going to be any pain at all. I think he might have been a little upset because he had eaten so much food. I had fed him so much food, and that put a lot of pressure on his stomach and stuff. So, but other than that, I don't think he was in any pain at all. He was just a little freaked out being at the doctor's office. So, and then he was gone. Just me and my wife, mourning over the loss of our dog. I don't have a favorite. That's what I've always said. And I still believe that. All these dogs mean a lot to me. I mean, I got them all when they were little baby puppies. We had 4 of them. Chevy. Well, I had Rusty first, then Chevy, then Murphy, then Winnie. And we had another dog, Gizmo, also for a little bit of time. And that was a little terrier that I kind of stole from my wife's friends because he was in unlivable conditions. Very mistreated. So took that dog. But we rehomed that dog to a good place. And then, yeah, it was a heartbreak when I lost Chevy. That was a violent time, though. That was a totally different situation. It was just like I knew what had to be done after the second time. And then with Rusty, again, a different situation. He was sick. He had a giant mass that was most likely going to be cancerous and was going to be a lot of money with very little probability that he lives out much longer. So I decided, while he's still a great dog, which, I don't know, you can put it different ways and make me sound like a fucking idiot. And a lot of times I think I am an idiot for what I did, but that's the way it happened. He was sick. It wasn't going to be good, and I wanted him to not ever be not a happy dog. And he was a really happy dog at home last night. Jumping up and getting fed lots of snacks and treats, running around in the backyard, having a great time. So that's rough. Like I said, I don't have a favorite. I love them all equally. Now, I've loved Rusty for much longer, but I would feel the same way about all the dogs, because all the dogs looked up to me like I'm their dad, which is completely true. And I feel it's my job to take care of my kids and my pets. So it was rough. It was really rough. I made sure I was the last thing he saw while he was going out. Made sure he knew he was a good boy. And now the worry, I don't have to worry anymore. So that's good. Even though the worry didn't last very long, it was only like a day. But it was a lot. It's been real heavy on me. I feel fine today. I'm at work. I'm doing things. I'm going through. I'm talking about it. I'm not getting all freaking crying and stuff. So I feel like I'm taking it well. I cried when I needed to cry. Now I'm good. That's okay for people to do that. I think, in my opinion, it's okay to cry every now and again. But my son was like, he saw me crying on the couch whenever we were telling him about it. My son was crying also. My wife, my daughter, didn't know what was going on. She was just kind of in loopy land, which is fine. Be in loopy land as long as you can, baby. Honda? You want to fuck with me, Honda? I would have gotten over and you could have passed me, but you want to fucking try to pass me on the right? Not happening, you fucking hoe. Let's see if they try to get in between me and Penske here. You fucking dipshit. I don't fucking like you. I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, my son, I was busy doing what I was doing. And he looked over to Mom. He's like, I've never seen Daddy cry before. She's like, yes, you have. She's like, when? Like, when we had to put Chevy down. So, yeah, I'm not like a big crier. Not a big crier. Cried over death, mainly. Cried over death and life. Cry when my kids were born in joy, and cry in sadness when I lose my dogs, my dad, my grandma, my wife's grandma, my wife's grandpa, cry over all these people that I loved, still love. I think my wife's got something in store for me. She likes to order these little books, little picture books. So, I don't know, kind of looking forward to a possible surprise of a picture book of my doggie, me and my doggie and the kids and everybody. Which kind of sucks is because I've been so busy lately. I don't know. I don't want to blame it on being busy. I just want to blame it on just being, I think the word is naive. I don't know what the fuck that means, but I was going through my picture roll on my phone, my photo roll, and I hadn't taken many pictures of the dogs in quite a while. Like this whole year, there's barely any pictures of the dogs, which is I was kind of, upset at myself. I take pictures of all kinds of shit all the time, and the dogs just weren't included. But I do have tons of pictures of the doggies. Mainly when it was like, I don't know. I took a lot of pictures of the dogs when I had Chevy. When I had both of my pups. Both of my big boys. I took a lot of pictures of them together because they were just a fucking duo. They grew up together. They were brothers. They had not brothers blood, but they were both raised up from pups at roughly the same time. Rusty was only a few months older, and they were just inseparable. They were awesome. And then they just, I don't know, Chevy had a problem, and the way he was trying to solve his problem was not going to work. Trying to fucking kill Rusty. I don't know what the hell's wrong with him. But we did not take, with both dogs, we didn't take any ashes. We didn't take them home. We didn't ask for anything special. We just wanted them to be at peace, and then that's about it. They're good. They're good doggies. I'll always remember them. We got pictures of them. I don't need ash of my doggies. That's just kind of weird. The likelihood of you getting the human ash, the proper human ash, is kind of rare from what I've heard. So getting the proper dog ash is not like I don't know. I imagine they just send they have an area where they set the doggies. They call a company. They come pick them up, and then they take them to. I don't know if they take them to the morgue or if they have a different type of a facility that does the same stuff. But they do whatever they do with them. The lifeless bodies, the life is not in that body anymore. So I mean, don't do anything fucked up with the dogs. But, yeah, no, I'm not going to haul around some ash from my dogs. We'll have pictures of them up around the house, and that'll be good enough. My boys, I miss them. I miss my doggies. I've had a hard time thinking about it. I don't know. Part of me wants to go get another doggy. Another part of me wants to just kind of let things be kind of chill for a while. Things are going to definitely chill out with just the two little dogs. Um, they were kind of confused when we got home. You could kind of tell they were waiting. You know, after we all walked in the door, they were still watching the door, waiting for their buddy to come back in, and he ain't coming, little dogs. I'm sorry. He ain't coming. And it's going to be a weird time for a while, filling up only 2 little dog bowls. And it was weird filling up only 3 dog bowls. So I'll just keep filling those 2 little dog bowls. Rusty really liked that food. So that's the main reason we were buying that food. I think I'm going to switch to dog food. Because the little dogs, there's only a select few pieces. They only like the white pieces out of the dog food. They leave all the green, all the brown, whatever the fuck it is, I don't know. They only eat the white pieces of dog food and the treats they get with their bowl. So I'm probably going to switch up the dog food because it's doing no good having that dog food. It'd be cool to get like samples to see what they like, but I don't know. Now we can spend more time with the little dogs. Don't really want to think about the next one to go because I love them all, but it would probably, I don't know, Murphy's an old dog too, but he's a Chihuahua mix with a Yorkie. He's going to go a while. A while. My buddy has a full-bred Yorkie that he had to have been 20 years ago. Not 20 years ago. Not 20 years ago. He was probably 18, 19, 20. So, 14-year-old, 15-year-old Yorkie. And they say full-breds don't last as long as mixed breeds, mainly because of, like, inbreeding, and they're just not as durable. I don't know. But they've got a Yorkie, and that Yorkie is just doing really well for being 14, 15 years old. They lost a doggy. They had Lily and Billy. They got a pair of Yorkies. They paid a pretty penny for those. 15 years ago, let's say. These doggies were just inseparable. They were really fun. They're little. They're super duper small and light. Fun little dogs. And unfortunately, his wife, which was his girlfriend at the time, or maybe his fiance, I wasn't making great money, but I wasn't spending a lot of money, so I had money to fucking blow. And I wasn't good at keeping my house clean. You'll see where this is going soon. They had come over, and she's like, you need to have me come over here and clean this place. I was like, I'd pay you if you come over and clean this place. She's like, for real? I was like, you know how awesome it would be to have somebody here cleaning my house while I'm playing video games? She's like, you can do whatever you want. I'm like, okay, this works. So, She came over. She brought the little doggies. They're running around. They're having a good time. She's cleaning up the house. She's letting them out in the front yard, bringing them back in, cleaning the house. I'm sitting there playing Grand Theft Auto, just not doing shit, just kind of watching her walk around. She's easy on the eyes, I'll tell you that right now. And it really sucks. So she let the dogs out front once, and there happened to be, I don't know what it was. I wasn't out there. It was a hectic moment. I'm sitting there playing video games. I hear screaming. I look out the window, and I see her running into the middle of the road, picking up her little doggie that had been run over. I lived on I guess it was a pretty busy road. Not that busy. It was a 25-mile-an-hour speed limit, though. But it was a county line road. And nobody goes fuck the speed limit out there. And this guy was coming down the hill. He had to, she said he swerved to hit the dog. She was trying to run out into the road to get the dog, and maybe she was running into the road, and he swerved to miss her. I don't know. But he clobbered that dog. Not good. And it's just a tiny little Yorkie. And they were very young at the time. So she brought him into the yard. Some of the neighbors came out to see what was going on. I went over there. I saw what happened. I grab a towel, and I go out there, and I grab the dog. I wrap it up and bring it to my table. And I lay him down, and then she just nuzzles him, and then she calls my buddy and tells him the bad news. And then he races over. And they have every right to be hysterical. But they were very upset. Like, this was their child that was just hit by a car and was done. So my buddy raced over, went in, and then they took the dog, and then they left. And it sucks. It really sucks that I don't know. They never held a grudge or anything like that, but I can't help but feel like if it hadn't been for me, they'd have still had the dog. So, or if, I was smoking at the time. So if I had happened to go out there with a cigarette and just, go out there and hang out with her and the dogs for a smoke break, piss break. So yeah, that blows. Really blows. He also had another dog. His name was Buddy, and that was the coolest dog ever. He would run off, but you just whistle. You don't even do it loud. You just barely whistle, no matter where the fuck he's at. He's always within whistle distance, and he come running. He was such a good boy. He had a problem with getting into shit though. He ate, and then they had a bread maker, and he yanked the bread maker, or no, they had dough. They had just made dough with the yeast and everything in it, and they had set it out on the counter. He yanked it down off the counter, and he ate an entire dough ball of bread that hadn't risen yet. So they had to peroxide him and get him to throw all that shit up, and he was fine. And then another Easter, he happened to get a hold of a 1 foot tall, 1 pound bunny of chocolate and ate the entire chocolate bunny. Milk chocolate. Which I think milk chocolate's not as bad as dark chocolate. Like, dogs shouldn't have dark chocolate. They shouldn't have any chocolate, but dark chocolate's the worst. But he had to throw up again. and he would always get into the trash and stuff. He's just but he was such a good boy. He was always happy. And then he got, I don't know, he was just really old and not doing well. He had to be put down. I got a picture with him on his last day. And yeah, other than that, my parents, growing up when I was real young, we had a, I don't know what it was. It was some sort of a terrier named uh, Cricket was this dog. And it was my mom's dog she had before she met my dad, I guess. And it was a good dog. I don't remember the dog at all, but yeah, I know my mom was not doing okay after we lost that dog. And then we got another dog. It was like a lab, a black lab from the mall. The mall, where they have dogs at the mall. Sometimes, some places have that. We got this dog and we named it Misty, or it was already named Misty. I don't know. It's a black lab, and I loved that dog. That was so cool. It was my first dog that I remember running around the backyard, having a great time, and then my mom decided to fake being allergic. I'm gonna say she faked being allergic because I still don't believe it. But she said she's allergic to dogs now, and we had to get rid of that dog. And it was super sad because I remember I was on the couch watching Cops or something with my dad. And then my mom said, "We're getting rid of Misty. Do you want to come down and take a picture with her?" And I said, "No, I'm watching Cops." Me being a young kid, probably kind of like, I don't know, my son could be the same age as me at this point in time. I was like, "No, I don't. I'm watching a show. I don't want to stop watching the show to get a picture." And so the rest of my family went down and took a picture with the dog, and then we took the dog, and then we, got put it back to where we got it, I guess. And I regretted that for a long time. I cried over that, not having that dog. But we only had that dog for a very short time. I don't know. Yeah, it was just that she said she was allergic. And we would ask for dogs every year, every Christmas, every birthday, ask for a puppy. And nope, 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 no dogs. It was very frustrating because I love dogs. So I'd have to go hang out with my friends' dogs. But yeah, as soon as I got my own place, I lived with my buddy for a while, and then things started getting a little weird after they got engaged. I think they were engaged at that point. Things got weird, me being the third wheel in their house, and there were tensions there. And I was like, I want to still be really good friends with you. And I think me living with you is not a good idea. We're really good friends if we just live in different spots. Because I used to stay the night at his house every night, but that was apparently different than moving in and living with somebody. So I moved out, and that's where I got that place on that county line road. And it was a duplex. I got my own place, and then right after that was Thanksgiving. And because I was like, sweet, I have my own place. There's no dog deposit or anything. I'm going to get a dog. And so I immediately, it was that Thanksgiving was right around the corner. Went to Thanksgiving, that's where I got Rusty. Was from the barn at my aunt's house with my little cousins. And got that dog, Rusty. I was like, what's a good name? Rusty, yeah, Rusty Hammer. And he's always been Rusty Hammer. Rusty Hammer! I don't know why the hammer part was in there, but Rusty was a perfect name for that dog. It's weird, naming something, I don't know, I've met a few people in my life where they tell me their name, and I'm like, that's not your name. You're in witness protection or something. There's something fucking going on here. That's not, you don't fit that name. But most people do fit the name. And I don't know, Rusty, he fit that name perfectly. And so I had him, but I had to work, and I was like, he's lonely. So I got another dog. I got on Craigslist, and I was just searching through, and I saw these Great Pyrenees puppies for sale. They were mixed with a boxer. This dude had a Great Pyrenees girl dog, and he was getting her ready to breed, but neighbor dog smelled that sweet heat and hopped the fence and fucked that dog. And came out were boxer labs. Not much of a boxer look though. It was, or not boxer lab, boxer Great Pyrenees. And I said, that's perfect. That dog looks great. I was like, I want a really big dog, and that's a big dog. So I got that puppy shortly after I got Rusty. I got several pictures of us just hanging when it was just me and the two dogs in the house. And my buddy, whenever I got him, it was, it was still winter. It was like I got Rusty on Thanksgiving. I got Chevy on like right after Thanksgiving, I think, or right after Christmas. So not too far after. And we drove his two-wheel drive V6 cat-eye Chevy that was lowered on 20s. We drove that out on ice through an ice storm to get this dog. We made it there, we made it back, but it was a time to remember. We did some involuntary donuts along the way, spinning out and stuff. And brought the old Chevy boy home, and he was just a little shy puppy for a while. He was very, very small. He was the cutest. I'm willing to say he was the cutest puppy I've ever seen in my life. And I don't know, I'll try to remember to post up some pictures on the Facebook group so you guys can check out. And I'll post a bunch of dog pictures and stuff if you're interested. But he was such a cute boy. He was so cute. He's a little fur ball, giant paws. And he grew up to be a big fur ball with giant paws, and he's like, I'm a lap dog. Rusty has never been that way. He's not like, I'm a lap dog, let me get on your lap. Chevy was always that way. He's like, I'm going to get on your face, and there's nothing you can do about it, because I'm bigger than you. Like, basically, he was bigger than me. He's just such a giant mass. He sheds so bad. There's still remnants of him in the couch, but yeah, he's a good boy. What a good boy. Not at the end, you weren't a good boy, but the rest of the way through, you were a good boy. Dumb and big, but he was a good doggy. So I had two dogs in a 2-bedroom duplex, 500 square foot, tiny duplex. And then I met who is now my wife, and she just kind of moved in, and then she wanted a dog. She's like, you got two dogs, I like them, but I want a small dog. I'm like, okay, I mean, yeah, no problem, whatever, more the merrier. I'm not going to say no to a dog. Like, if somebody wants to get a dog. They're awesome. Unconditional love. Those dogs will love you forever. If you're a good owner. Sometimes even if you're a bad owner, but if you're a good owner, those dogs will, and you train them properly. Like, they got to know you're the boss. If you're not the boss, you're the pet. You're doing what they want to do. But, yeah, she found I was at work, and then she drove out and got herself the little Yorkie Chihuahua. Murphy Lee. Chevy didn't have a middle name. It was just Chevy. Oh, and I guess that's kind of funny. Let me get on to that. So I got Rusty, and then I was trying to think of a name for the second dog, and I had a Rusty 78 Chevy giant sitting out front. And I was like, that's a rusty Chevy. And I was like, I don't know. That's kind of a, I don't know. Not a, I didn't want to name him Chevy. I was like, this isn't a, I don't want to name him Chevy. Like, that's a car name. I'm not going to name him after a car. But the more I kept saying Rusty and Chevy, the more it worked out. And it's always been Rusty and Chevy. It's never been Chevy and Rusty. It's always Rusty and Chevy. Rusty Chevy. And when I say those words, even to this day, I think of my dogs. I don't think of the truck. I think of my dogs. Uh, but that gives me a really good idea of either a bumper sticker or a window sticker for my truck that I got now. They would fit very well, would be Rusty Chevy and, kind of just like a line drawing of the dogs underneath it. And then Rusty Chevy over the top of it. Because that's always going to be a Rusty Chevy. That Chevy's always going to have rust. I guarantee you, I will never fix most of the rust on that truck. I'm going to fix some of it just so it's drivable and comfortable. But it's always going to be a rusty Chevy. So I feel confident in getting that window sticker put on the truck. It'd be kind of cool. Yeah, and I was like, man, whenever I get home, I need to hurry up and get my truck fired up and then let Rusty have one ride in it. But it was so hot, and the windows don't work in that truck very well at all. So I was like, no, I'm not going to. I could have opened up, the wing windows, the back window, and my driver window. The passenger side window is the only one that doesn't come down, and I got vents and stuff, but I was like, what am I doing? Just to get a picture? No, it would have been for a memory of Rusty riding around in the old square body. Really wish I was able to get that thing fixed up fast enough that I could have, taken him out to the lake or something, taken him on a, truck ride. He would have loved. He was never comfortable, riding around in my wife's front seat or in the back. He loved going on the car ride, but he was never really comfortable. But if he was able to, that bench seat in the square body, he would have been really comfortable on that. He might have even laid down and put his head on my lap. That's just a picture-perfect moment right there. Or just a perfect moment to be a part of, is driving around in your truck with your best fucking dog. The best dog you could ever have. Laying on your lap, riding around, sticking his head out, letting his tongue fucking put drool all over the cab. Sniffing the windows. Good dogs. Yeah, pretty sad. Pretty sad. But this is the way life is, and there's no going back. So, I don't know. Obviously, if I find a dog that needs a home, I've got the room. I had the room for almost 200 pounds worth of dog that I don't have anymore. Rusty was like 80, 90, and Chevy was over 100. So, I've got the room. It works. I don't know. Part of me is just like, let's just not get a puppy. Or even another, like, older dog. I don't even know how I feel about doing that, but... And a smaller dog. I love Rusty. I wish I could have him on my lap, but his elbows and shit were always pushed on me. If I get another dog, it's going to be 30 pounds or less. Most likely. Smaller, statured, And also, what Chevy taught me is I need a dog that I can fend off. Like, if that dog decides to start going after somebody, it needs to not have the power of Thor's hammer, which Chevy had. He had so much power. He If he wanted to fuck somebody or something up, he could, and he knew it. So get another smaller dog. Small dogs are good. I like them. Like I don't know, probably something kind of like Buddy was. Buddy was a terrier, a smaller terrier. He got fat at the end, but he's a smaller dog. Um, I don't know. I do like the big, cuddly dog, though. Like Chevy was perfect, big, cuddly dog. You could just grab him and squeeze him as tight as you wanted. And he was just like, oh my God, so much love in this hold right here. Rusty liked hugs too, but he was more like, all right, let's fucking play. It's like, okay, we'll play after we cuddle. Let's cuddle. Like, no, let's play. It's like, all right, let's play. He's like, I'm done playing. You want to cuddle? No, not really. He's like, you can scratch me on my ass. That's about it. Um, yep. So the Facebook group is open for anybody else to post up anything that they'd like if you're interested. If you have current dogs or dogs you've lost or um, your cousin's best friend's dog that you like a lot, I don't care. You know, you can post. I like seeing dog pictures, so if you want to post up dog pictures on the Facebook group, go for it. I think I have to approve people before they post, at least the first time. So if I don't get to approving your post immediately, I'm sorry. I'm busy doing shit. Um, and I think that's where I'm gonna end this. I'm on my way to fucking Hannibal. Go here and deal with their fucking shit. I've explained their shit every time I've done this job, so I don't know. Look through and try to find a title that says something like this fucking place sucks, and maybe that's probably doing this job because this place is a fucking dumbass, full of dumbasses. We want you to we want you to drop your box, untarp your box, load your box, pull over this inspection rack. Then we're going to go in there and inspect it. Then we got to test it. Then you could drop it and leave it here. What? No. Just going to fucking drop it and leave. I'm going to drop it and leave. I'm going to grab it empty and I'm going to leave. If you guys would like to untarp it when it's on the ground and staging, go for it. Do whatever you want. You're going to have like a month to do it. It doesn't need to be while I'm on the fucking clock. Anyways, keep all 18 down and pet your puppies for me. Talk to y'all later.